Hi there. Today what's on my mind is acquisitions adjustments for invoices. For those of you who handle invoicing and receiving using Koha, there'll be instances where the invoice comes in and either it has a credit note where the amount was less than expected, or alternatively the amount might come in as more than you expected, and you want to record those adjustments separately rather than just adjusting figures on the invoice. So there is a feature within Koha to do that. It's been around for a little while, but I thought I'd run through that this morning. So from acquisitions, I'm going to pick my vendor, my Acme vendor, and receive a shipment with the normal process for receiving a shipment. So I'm going to have my invoice number, Tuesday 123. Shipment date, cost as usual, all the normal features. And on the next screen, I would go ahead and receive my order as normal. So I'm going to receive this Hermit and the Crab title. And it's against the replacements fund on my system. Let's receive that material to the invoice. I'm just going to receive it in the normal way. I've got an actual cost of £25. There was already an adjustment there for GBP in this instance. So I'm going to click through into save, and then on my already received screen, of course, I could go ahead and receive another title or basket, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to finish receiving, and that takes me through into the invoicing page. I can go ahead and close the invoice, of course, at this stage. I can apply adjustments at this stage, or I could apply them later. But in this adjustments section, this is where I make any adjustments to amounts. And you've got a little section here that allows me to add an adjustment. If there's already an adjustment on there, I can update the adjustment here. So, or if I click through into add an adjustment, I can apply the amount that I want to adjust on that invoice. So I can apply a negative amount using a minus in the box here, and that in effect applies a credit. So I could put in -2, and this is going to apply a credit to my fund. I can select the fund that I want to apply that credit to. Here's my replacements fund, so I can select that from the list. I can add a note, credit note received, date it, for example. I could report on that later. And then I've got this interesting tick box that says encumber while invoice open. And what that allows me to do is if I'm going to leave this invoice open for any reason, but I want the amount that I am getting as my credit here to be reflected within the fund at that very point, I can select the tick box encumber while invoice is open, and that will subtract the money directly from the fund without you closing the invoice. If your general practice is simply to close the invoice at this stage, then it just does the same thing, but ticking that will encumber the money directly against your fund. So I can update my adjustment here, and if I click through into update adjustment, we can see it's given me an extra section in that invoicing display for my £2 here. Against the invoicing details, here's my £25 for that original amount against the replacements fund. But in the total plus adjustments plus shipment cost row along the end here, it's reflecting that £2 and charging me less than that 25 and applying less, £2 less in that column there. If I now subsequently close that invoice, click through into it and save it, invoice has been modified. When I pop back to my acquisitions homepage, just glancing at my fund display here against my replacements fund, obviously the money no longer is ordered against that £25, but now we've got in the spent amount from the fund. I can click through into it and we can see an adjustment there of that £2 there, adjusting that cost. There is another feature related to the acquisitions adjustments. When I was applying that adjustment, if I just click through into that invoice again, if I wanted to add an additional adjustment to this amount here, there's a little section here called reason, and it allows me to define a pick list of reasons for particular adjustments. And I do that using an authorized value category. The authorized value category is called ADG_reason. And in my administration module, if I go back into admin, if I don't already have that authorized value, and if I just do a sort here, it doesn't exist in my authorized values. You may find it's already there. Alternatively, I can go in and create a new category for it, for adjust reason. And I can add a new value for my category. So I might want to put some broad headings for reasons why an invoice might be adjusted in whatever way. So it could be as simple as credit, and you could have another one that's debit. So I can apply my adjustment reason. If I now go back into my invoice and let's just save that invoice and pop back into it. If I now have a look at that adjustment row, I can see I now have a reason column currently set to no reason, but I could click through into credit and give it a authorized value. So something that's going to be used consistently rather than simply adding in a note on that level. And you can have as many reasons in your ADG_reason authorized value as you like. So I can click on update adjustments, and it will make that adjustment allocated with that reason as described. You can obviously add more adjustments if you need to, and adjustments, as I say, can be a positive or a negative value. So if I simply put in £2, I wouldn't apply a reason. Extra charge applied might be my note. I can encumber that to my replacements fund. And my invoice is closed, so I don't really need to tick the tick box encumber while open. When I update my adjustments and scroll down to my total plus adjustments plus shipment cost, in effect, my £2 there has negated my credit amount there. So I've gone around a little bit in circles, but illustrated that you can use plus and minus amounts in your adjustments. Obviously, if you've had invoices where you've received the books sometime down the line and then subsequently get a credit or a credit note, you can obviously go back into that invoice and adjust your amounts accordingly. So it's a really good way to keep fine-tuning amounts within your funds. I think that just about covers it, the broad outlines for adjustments. So thanks very much for watching. Bye.